Oh, hey guys. Thanks for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about a topic near and dear to my heart. It's douchebag brothers and how we can learn to cope with having a brother who is both lame and out of touch. How do you say, almost like a dork or like a nerd, you know? Listen, I have a lot of experience with the subject, so for me it's no problem talking about how my brother is such a dweeb, socks and sandals type, just a real dork, a real loser. So that's what we're going to talk about today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me on this quest. Oh, hey man.
What were you saying?
Nothing. We were, actually today we're doing our lesser evil Christmas songs list, right?
Okay, so, welcome back. Nice to have you.
Good to have you.
Christmas music. Let's talk about, real quick, we'll talk about how we feel about it, just in general. How do you feel about Christmas music?
Not great.
Tell me why.
Well, I've worked a lot of, I started working at Acme when I was like 15, and when you work in a supermarket, you hear Christmas music all December, and it's typically the same 5 songs over and over again.
Yeah, there's like different versions of the same song, but no one does anything radically different with them. It all sounds the same.
It's all pretty relatively similar.
And I have a problem with the repetition, just hearing the same song over and over. It drives me crazy.
Batty.
But that being said, I think there's some good Christmas music. There's some good Christmas songs out there. And the idea here was to find our sort of lesser evil Christmas songs. These are songs that I actually really enjoy. Like
songs that you're not tired of.
Yeah, and songs that I think are actually really good songs that just happen to be about Christmas. They're out there. But you don't hear generally. Well, one of these on my list you actually do hear out and about a lot, but I still really like it. But the rest of them are like, ones that you don't really hear these ones that much, so.
Not as played.
Yeah. So, anywho, who starts? Me start? You start? Who start?
Me start. You start. Who start? I'll start it off. Hey man,
go for it.
I'm gonna crank my lip first. Number 1 pick. I got Connick Jr. baby. It must have been old Santa Claus. October 26th, 1993. And Connick Jr. just ripping it up. I love him. He's great. He's just one of those. He's a very suave dude.
Mm-hmm.
Carries himself well, positive energy, and it's just a fun, silly song. I like that. I want it to be fun and silly.
It's like a big bandy, like jazz type of. This is my favorite Christmas song. I think I've always really loved this song.
It's probably the jazziness of it that I love. I love jazz. I am a jazz boy.
Well, because there's like a sense of wonder to it, because it's written from the perspective of a child who doesn't believe in Santa Claus, and then he gets taken by Santa for a ride in the sleigh. And yeah, I first heard it when I was like 11 or 12 years old or something like that, which is probably around when it came out. Maybe a little before that. But it's just so, I don't know, so joyous and buoyant that I don't know, this one always makes me smile. It's got great horns on it. It's got a great kind of sing along. Santa Claus must have been old Santa. Yeah, it's just like, it's hard not to smile on the song as well.
To you.
And
classic.
I always feel compelled to, like, this is a Christmas song I will go out of my way to put on at some point in December.
And that's the thing. There's a danceability to it too. It's like, it makes you want to kind of like bop a little bit.
Yeah, and it's almost one I wish you heard it more out in the wild, because I think it's really good.
It's very
and it's
good.
a total like safe for work situation too. You can absolutely throw it on a work playlist, or
it's not bawdy,
or listen to with your family or something like that. Well, I know some like a little Christmas
I know
songs
some. I almost put a couple on my list, but I was like, nah, we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep the family.
The Pansy Division one, the other one. I shouldn't say it out loud.
Just bleep this out. What? Do it. Just do it.
I'll tell you.
Do it.
I'll tell you later. Good song though. Good song.
This is gonna be exciting. People are gonna be like, "Oh wait, what's the thing?" That
well, if you look up a Christmas song by the band Pansy Division, you'll find it. It's
I'm sure I know it.
It's not a bad word or anything like that, but it is a really dirty song. But yeah, there's it's not one of those. It's a family friendly Christmas song that actually I think is quite joyous and a great pick. A great pick. That's my favorite one right off the bat though. Where do we go from here? We go to 1999 to the band Low.
Ooh,
what?
Nice pick.
You familiar with this?
No, not at all. Just saying, nice pick.
Low was kind of like, I guess there's a word people like to use to describe a band as like slowcore, but their music is very kind of slow and like just a little dreamy. I'm not like super duper well versed in the music, but what I've heard I really liked. But it's the type of music that you'd listen to like before you go to bed. It's very kind of warm, comforting music. But they had a little Christmas EP come out in '99, and there's a few. I think Little Drummer Boy is on there, and there's like a couple of covers. But Just Like Christmas, first track from the EP, which is just called Christmas, is. It's like it's not like super duper slow, but it's a very kind of gentle Christmas pop song, and it's certain songs make me appreciate a Christmas vibe, even though I'm not really a Christmas type of person.
Yeah.
So
I understand that.
When I put this song on, it's like it just has a nice kind of warm feeling to it, and it makes me think I like Christmas, even though I really don't. So.
I understand that. I have to gather my Christmas spirit throughout the season. Like I build it up. I have to create it because I don't actually naturally have it. I don't like Christmas.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I don't know. This is a pretty classic like Christmas song for people that don't like Christmas song, or like if you're into alternative music, whatever that means. This is like a pretty classic example of like, but this one's good. So, yeah, definitely would recommend Just Like Christmas by Low.
Check it out. That's me. That's number 2.
Mm-hmm.
I got Christmas in Hollis by Run-DMC in 1987. Same year as Tricky came out. Tricky.
Ooh, they're on a roll.
They were on a roll. It was a good year for them. But it's a great track. I love that. I mean, it's Run-DMC. How do you not love Run-DMC? And they talk about collard greens and mac and cheese. 2 amazing things.
Like when they say about the ill reindeer.
The ill reindeer is good. Also love that it's featured in Die Hard.
Is it?
It is featured in Die Hard. It's playing in the limousine that Argyle drives.
It is. I don't know. I think it was the first hip-hop.
Very sleigh bell heavy too. I was re-listening to it, and very sleigh bell heavy.
The horns are so good though. I don't know what that sample is, but it's great.
It's so good.
And this is another one, just like a straight up classic.
I think there was one point I think I did find the original where the horns came from, and I think that's one of the fun aspects of hearing. You hear those samples like that, and then when you hear the original. Like, where in your brain you're making that connection, like that's
Well, that's one of the really fun things about sampling is like, it leads you down a path to discover something else, which is really cool, So it's like, I like it used in this context, but then I find out about. I'm sure there's plenty of artists people find out about because they were sampled somewhere,
But that was the thing about Run-DMC though too, is that they're bringing so much into this. So not only is it giving you those Christmas feelings. But you're also having the interesting sounds of Run-DMC interspliced into that as well, and that's why I think I like it because there's more going on than just like a Christmas song.
Yeah.
There's more layers to it than that.
Rest in peace, Jam Master Jay.
Rest in peace.
Oh, I also should say the singer of Low, Mimi Parker, died in 2022, which is very sad.
Yes.
I forgot to mention that. So Low is no longer a band. But yeah, I mean, Christmas in Hollis is an all-time classic, and one of the ones where you just like, I don't know how to say it.
Well, no, hey, take your time. There's no rush.
Like, you don't hear it in the wild as much as you should.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
Because this is another one, like, there's no reason you can't
I
be
feel
playing
like
that.
Run-DMC in general is not played enough.
Yeah.
Not played enough. Not
Well,
nearly enough.
It's tricky, you know.
It's tricky.
But yeah, that's a
Shut
classic
up for
one.
that joke.
Yeah, that's
That was good.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Thank you, sir.
This next one.
I love this pick.
So this has been one of my favorites. So I would say if I had to pick like two of my favorite Christmas songs, like this is number 2, the Harry Connick Jr. one is number 1, but it is officially called Xmas Time, and then in parentheses, it sure doesn't feel like it. The version I want to talk about is by the Mighty Bosstones, which was released in 1997 on a compilation called A Home for the Holidays, which I believe was for charity.
I would like to really quick just throw in, it's very telling that most of our picks are from the 90s.
Yeah.
Or 90s.
Are all... I mean, well, you just did one from the 80s, and I think I got... Yeah, there's some 80s, and I got some other stuff.
Some 80s.
Yeah, I mean, that's when we were, when we were friggin' little children. The original version was by a band called a Boston rock band called the Dogmatics, and that was apparently released in 1984. So years later, the Bosstones covered it, and it definitely, like, if you like the Bosstones, it's not super like horn driven song, but definitely like it's got Dickey's trademark vocals, and there's something about it that's like speaks to the loneliness of Christmas, and that's what it says. Sure, it doesn't feel like Christmas time because this is about like a college town that sort of gets deserted because all the kids go home for Christmas, and it's kind of just this empty, like nothing's happening here. Sure, don't feel like Christmas time. I love it though. It's one of my favorites. It's one that I want, like all the other ones on the list so far. It's the one that I won't let a December pass without playing it at least 9 times.
We were a big Bosstones household too. We liked us some Bosstones.
Oh, I love the Bosstones. Oh, yeah. So I checked out the original. It's much different. It's like slower and more sparse.
I'll have to give it a re-listen.
But I don't know that it's streaming anywhere. I think it's on. I watched the video of it on YouTube. But yeah, I love the Bosstones version is streaming, and it's one of the. I think you do kind of hear it every now and then, here and there, because it's very much if you're looking up. Oh, what are cool bands I like that also did a Christmas song? This is one of the ones that you always hear, because it's a very good one too. It wasn't just like a throwaway. Like, it's actually a very good song.
But it's not something you're not going to hear that like in a store. You're not going to.
Probably not.
Not often.
No, probably not. But,
not likely.
But I feel like if someone was to make like an alternative Christmas playlist, this would probably be.
This would likely show up.
And it's one that I've always
like
loved.
like if your coworkers or friends had made a playlist. Yeah.
Yep. Yes, indeed.
Shout out to Allison.
Yeah. So that's my number 2.
Great pick.
Thank you.
That brings me to my number 3, and I'm doing Mele Kalikimaka. Jimmy Buffett style, though. That's my guy. Parrot Heads for Life, which was released October 8th, 1996, off the album Christmas Island. Great album, too. If you have a chance, give it a listen. I love Jimmy Buffett. I've always loved Jimmy Buffett. I'm not going to apologize for that.
Nor should you.
Nor should I have to. I don't know what your problem is. Listen, whoever this is, I don't know what your problem is with Jimmy Buffett. But you leave that man in peace.
Well, after he died, though, I was like, no, I liked him. No, that's great.
No,
I liked him the whole time.
You liked him the whole time, unironically. I'm not being ironic. I like Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, well, my dad's a big Jimmy Buffett fan. I just always have fond memories of listening to Jimmy Buffett, and I have fond memories of listening to Christmas Island. I remember he reads "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" on it, right?
Yes.
Which might have been the first time I heard it in its entirety was from Jimmy Buffett.
Jimmy Buffett.
Without reading it.
He also does. He has a really, really beautiful voice, and it really shines in this particular version of this song. And I love the original too, but this one is probably more near and dear to my heart because our father always played Jimmy Buffett. Like he was always playing Jimmy Buffett when he was out. Like I remember the Boardwalk. He was playing. Oh, it's sick. Dude, our dad used to play. He ripped. He still rips. He still plays. He rips. He's the best. Love you, Dad.
Also, it just makes so much sense, doesn't it? Like Mele Kalikimaka from Jimmy Buffett. Like, of course.
Totally natural, and it sounds like something. It's very like almost like a luau or something. It's so good. Oh, you gotta listen to it. If you haven't heard it, listen to that version.
Yeah,
it's the definitive. I'm gonna say right now, definitive way to hear Mele Kalikimaka.
Definitive. Those are strong.
Strong words. 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10.
All right, this next one is from an artist that I'm not like. I can't say that I'm a big fan because I'm not familiar with a lot of his music. That's funny. I didn't even write his name down in my notes. But anyway, now tell me if I'm saying it wrong. Is it Sufjan Stevens or is it Sufjan Stevens?
I believe it's Sufjan Stevens.
All right, Sufjan Stevens.
I like Sufjan Stevens though very much.
I am very. I just don't know. I don't know a lot of this stuff. I know.
It's wild. It's wild.
I know.
It's fun.
A couple of ones.
It's very fun.
Apparently, he's got a few Christmas albums out, and then I, of course, like to thank my friend Zach here because I think he put this song for me on a playlist, or he might have burned me the whole when he still did that. He might have burned me the whole Christmas album. But it's one of those songs with two names. It's called Lumberjack Christmas. And then / No One Can Save You from Christmas Past. And this one, it's just got, I hate to say this, but because it's annoying, but you know the kids say there's like, oh, it's such a vibe, like the vibes.
Yes.
But it is. It
we
has
can say it. It's okay.
It has the like you're having a Christmas party in a barn or something like that, that type of vibe to it, and I really like it. It's like it feels like you're at a Christmas party. Like that's kind of the way it feels, and it's almost like a thing where like, oh man, I kind of wish I was at this Christmas party because they keep saying, would you like to stay a while and dance with me? And it's like, yeah, absolutely. Well, no, am I actually going to dance at a Christmas party? No, never in my life. But just makes you feel that way. And then there's even one line about the music's kind of cheesy, so it kind of like calls like Christmas music on being cheesy. But I don't know. I just have a really good time with this one.
Like you're in on the joke, but you're still having fun with it.
Yeah, and I just imagine everyone wearing like big puffy like flannel coats and stuff, and have whatever you would drink, eggnog or cider or whatnot.
Cider,
sail, no.
Winter wassail,
or whatever you would drink on Christmas. And it's just I don't know. And they also chant oh. I don't know. It's just like. It's just a nice.
It spreads cheer.
Yeah, it's
very cheerful,
fun, cheerful song that I really like. So yeah, it's I don't know, Lumberjack Christmas. What a great name!
That is a great name. You can't beat that.
So that's my number 3.
Number 3. That brings me to my number 4. We got this is one that
this might be controversial.
This is
or polarizing.
I'm gonna have to apologize to a dear friend of mine.
Very polarizing.
Dominick the donkey. You're gonna either love it or you're gonna hate it. It was Monte who sang that. Who was this? He was like an Italian singer. Actually, I was listening to one of his other songs. Beautiful. If you like that style, it's very very operatic, I would say, in nature. But Dominick the donkey, it's such a goofball song. I love it. It's got that like almost like Monster Mash kind of energy to it, where it's so silly. You're doing hee-haw, hee-haw, like the Italian Christmas donkey.
You know what it makes me think of? Like the beat and rhythm of the song. It just seems like some Ren and Stimpy. Like, I could see that on there.
I could see that,
pattern,
right? It's almost like a weird cartoon. Like, that should be a cartoon.
Did they ever make a cartoon out of Dominick's?
They should have. If they didn't, like, that you missed such an opportunity.
The premise of the song doesn't make a lot of sense because he says there's Dominick the donkey because the reindeer cannot climb the hills of Italy, but they can fly. So
maybe they're really shit at landing. Did you ever think of that? Maybe they're shit at landing.
That's just make it easy.
Well, you know how hard it is to land on top of a mountain?
I've never tried it.
Hard as shit. If you're a reindeer, that shit's fucking terrain,
well,
dude.
also,
that's terrain.
I have a theory that the reason, because this song is a hated song.
I love this song
But
so
I think
much.
the reason people hate it is because of the hee-hawing. I think if you take the hee-hawing out, I think it's a perfectly fun song. But I understand.
Like the hee-hawing?
Me personally, I'm fine with the hee-hawing. It's fine.
You guys don't like the hee-hawing? I don't understand why they don't like the hee-hawing.
It's obnoxious. It is obnoxious, but
that's what's so great about it.
It is a donkey.
I think I like that.
Can we do a little side note discussion?
Yes, please.
So we're talking, if we're going to talk, Christmas novelty songs, there's a lot of them, actually. I'm getting nutted for Christmas. I want a hippopotamus for Christmas. I think you got one a little bit later on your list.
That's such a good one.
Santa Baby. Like, there's novelty ones, but there's a song that I can't think of Dominick the Donkey without thinking of Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer.
Why didn't I put that on?
And that song is really hated. People hate this one.
Great.
Do you hate it just because it's the stupidest song ever recorded? I like it because it's the stupidest song ever recorded.
That's what I think is the best part about it, is how dumb it is.
So anyway, I just want to add that to the discussion too. How do we feel about Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer?
I actually kind of love it. I used to hate it when I was younger, but I've gotten to a point now I do love it. It's just silly.
Yeah. One that I didn't pick for the list, but I always wind up putting on it if I'm making a Lesser Evil Christmas playlist. I always wind up putting I Want an Alien for Christmas by Fountains of Wayne.
That's a great song.
That's a good one. Because it's like, it's just like a Fountains of Wayne song. It just happens to be singing about,
I always forget how much I love Fountains of Wayne. I really do love Fountains of Wayne. They're so
It's a shame because the one song they're known for is a song that I really don't like. Like, I really, really don't like Stacy's Mom. But, but they're a really good band. They were a really good band. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I think I feel indifferent to Stacy's Mom. I'm indifferent. It's there. It exists.
Yeah.
It's a song.
Anyway, more about Stacy's mom.
Has got it going on.
My number 4. This is the one that you actually do hear a lot in the wild, and I guess there was a couple of famous cover versions. One by Spice Girls and one by Kylie Minogue. I am not talking about those versions. I'm talking about the original version of Christmas Wrapping from the Waitresses. You know this one, right? This is the one. This is the one that you hear out there in the world. But I still really like it because it's got its own uniqueness to it.
Energy. It has its own energy to it.
And it's so it's Christmas Wrapping by the Waitresses, which is from 1981. It's from a compilation called A Christmas Record. Apparently it was supposed to be just this one throwaway thing, but it became this modern Christmas classic. And it's nice when the kind of like of Christmas is acknowledged, and it really is in this song. It's like, oh my god, I do this, I do that. I'm stressing out, and it's got great horns in it, and it's got this kind of this missed connection in it from her, the singer, and this guy that she keeps missing, and then at the end they finally are like, oh, we finally found each other looking for cranberries. And it's one of the, like, you hear it so often, but I really haven't gotten sick of it yet. I still think it's a really, really good song. And it's a popular one because it plays all over the place.
For me, it's got that kind of almost raw, almost punk feel to it that I love.
Yeah, well, it's very, like, early 80s New York alternative type of...
Which is right up my alley. That's why I think I love this song so much. This is such a good pick. Really, really great pick.
Thanks. And I have, so I'm a big fan of this band, the Bouncing Souls, and they used to do these shows at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park called Home for the Holidays. They don't do them anymore. They haven't done them since, was it 2016? Something like 2016?
Yeah.
And they did it every year, though. It was like it was a day after Christmas for 3 or 4 days. Sometimes it was different. And they play every night, different songs every night. Some nights they would be like, they would have fans make their set lists. Some nights I remember they did a thing where someone was like randomly choosing songs on stage and writing it on a board and holding it up. This is what you're playing now. So they always like, sometimes they're like, oh, we're doing full albums. Like tonight we're going to do these 2 albums. Tonight, next night we're going to do these 2 albums. And they always did, fun, interesting stuff like that. I think the first one, which I went to the first night, was they had people vote on their 40 favorite Bouncing Soul songs. So nights 2 and 3, they did, numbers 40 through 20 or 40 through 21, and then the next night they did, the top 20. And the first night was just like odds and ends night. I went to odds and ends night and it was awesome because it's like, oh my god, like I never hear these ones, But what I'm saying, I'm going off on a tangent. So you'd be at the Stone Pony inside this, little club, and it's still very much holiday feeling. They had it decorated. There were Christmas trees. I remember one year I was standing up, smashed up near the rail, and there was a Christmas tree, and this girl was drinking beer after beer after beer. And when she finished her beer, she would sort of just kind of tie them into the Christmas tree like an ornament until one of the security guards noticed and was like, hey, stop doing that. But she had already put like 6 of them on that. That's crazy. So I remember being in that room, and of course usually there's 4 bands playing, and in between bands there's music playing, of course, and that song still, every time I hear it, takes me back to being in there right after Christmas, waiting for the Bouncing Souls to play, and hearing that bum 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 bum, and it's just like, I just feel like I'm transported back into... no, they don't. So the only time I see the Souls now, the Bouncing Souls now, is they play outside of the Stone Pony on the summer stage in the summer. So that's the only time I really see them anymore, and it's just, I have a good time, but it's not the same. And obviously they're not
summer stage and indoors, very different thing. Very different thing.
So it just was a specific setting that that this song always just brings me right back to. And of course I heard this song before that. That's not the first time I heard this song. But I have such strong memories tied to hearing that song in that context that so it's kind of double. I think it's a really good song, and then it also reminds me of that time. So
that's so cool that music can tie to your specific memories like that.
It transports me back. So
that's beautiful.
Anyway,
and it's such a great pick.
That's one of my favorites, and that's one that, like, you do hear it a lot, but I still think it's great.
Same.
It's a really good song. All right, so we have one more each, but before we do that, do we want to go the other way for a second?
All right, we can indulge. We can indulge ourselves.
Pick a song that you think has been terrorizing you, and I got one that has really been terrorizing me, and but you let us.
I don't want to go too. I'm not gonna get angry. I'm trying not to get angry lately. It's something I'm working on. And All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey. Why do you hate me? Why you follow me everywhere? Every year, every fucking year after year, you're there. Every goddamn time. Just dozens and dozens of times a day at my workplace, taunting me, torturing me. All I do is serve you. Why do you want to hurt me? But that's all I'll say about that. All I Want for Christmas Is You by Mariah Carey.
Seems like it's the most played.
They won't stop. And everybody wants to play it. And everyone from our generation specifically, it has this feeling toward Mariah Carey, so it's,
I don't have warm feelings for that song, like in any way, shape, or form. Before I had to hear it consistently, I thought nothing of it. It was like, whatever, it's a song. But now it's
That's where the deep feelings come from. When you don't feel anything for a song, but then you hear it over and over and over again. It's like this form of insanity.
Yeah, and then it doesn't seem to bother people around you. They're like, "Oh, this is a great one." And you're like, "How? How are you okay with this? You've heard it 19 times today. I don't understand how you're still..." Yeah, that's a really good one. I'm gonna go.
Hit it. What do you got?
I'm gonna go with one that. That's the thing. It's like, this isn't actually a bad song. It's fine, but I'm finding that it's such a safe. The younger kids like it, and or people like it because it's from the '80s, and it's "Last Christmas" by Wham. And I think the problem with this one is that it's been covered so many times, and there's nothing really that anyone wants to do with it. They do it very straight as is. So it just sounds like, I'm finding we're hearing a safe forward Christmas playlist since you hear "Last Christmas," then "All I Want for Christmas Is You," then "Last Christmas" again, then "Winter Wonderland," then "Last Christmas," then "Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer," then "Last Christmas." It's like plays after every song, and it's...
When will it ever be the last Christmas?
Although I do really like... I'll send you... we'll put it, the meme right here I love about the free heart. That one makes me... That's from 1984, and it's been covered by Taylor Swift, Ariana Grande, Gwen Stefani, Ashley Tisdale, Carly Rae Jepsen, the cast of Glee, Hilary Duff, Billy Piper, Crazy Frog. Your beloved Crazy Frog covered it.
Listen, I love you, Crazy Frog, but I'm not with you on this one.
And my beloved...
I'm not with you on this journey.
My beloved Jimmy Eat World, one of my favorite bands, had the audacity... Oh, God bless them, they probably made some money off of it. But
I like how much he was talking to me about how much it was going to eat him up that he had to mention that about Jimmy Eat World.
I love Jimmy Eat World. I'm like a legitimately really big Jimmy Eat World fan.
He actually loves him.
Different
strokes.
Anyway, yes, terrible. All right, but now that we purged that out of our system,
I feel like this is a very emotional episode for me.
Well, I also feel like the whole episode could have been just Christmas songs that we hate and wish we never hear
and I'm
again.
Glad we didn't.
But yeah, we don't.
We're leaning into the more positive aspect.
Trying to find the lesser evil.
We're finding the cheer, people.
So
finding the cheer.
One more each. I actually have a couple of. I know you said something about honorable mention, but there's a really nice little Christmas EP that the Flaming Lips did called Atlas Eats Christmas. Eets is spelled real weird though, E-E-T-S. Anyway, it's very kind of like warm and cozy, like by the fireplace with a little brandy. Kind of, it's instrumental. It doesn't really sound like the Flaming Lips, but there's like kind of tinkling little piano, and it's just, I don't know, just very kind of cozy with melodies that you'll definitely recognize. Winter Wonderland and all that's on there, but
I'm very much for that. I like the idea of instrumentals, and if that were the case, if we had said all together, like, hey, we'll do Christmas music, but we'll just do instrumentals, I'd be fine with that. I'd be more than fine with that. Get me on the phone. Please get me on the phone with the authority that decides all of this, and I would like to discuss this. I'm not joking. This isn't a bit, and I really want to talk to you.
Christmas cups. Oh, also, Shane MacGowan died last week or the week before, which is...
Yes.
Terribly sad. I love, but I guess that's one of the most popular Christmas fairy tale in New York, from '88, which is like, when I listen to Pogues, I don't usually gravitate towards that one, but it's still a really good song.
I could give it a re-listen.
And rest in peace, Shane MacGowan, because I really love the Pogues.
Pogues are fantastic.
Anyway, so you're up, Slugger.
Let's get back to business. This is it. So we're finishing out the list, and I'm going to finish out strong. Dónde Está, Santa Claus, specifically sang by Chang in 1963, off the album An Evening with Chang. A wonderful song. So, again, you see in my list, I like the dancier kind of stuff. I like stuff that feels more fun, and this is very much a style like calypso style, right? And I love the silliness of it. That's my favorite aspect of these songs. I want it to be silly. I want it to be goofy and fun, And that's why I love this one. It's such a fun.
Yeah, that's a good one. And who did the original?
The original was can you get
Augie Rios.
Augie Rios
From 1958.
1958. Also very good. The original is also a classic, but this one I just have a specific.
Yeah,
you just hear a particular version of a song, and you're like, oh, I like this version. That's my version.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a very fun one. It's silly, and it's like a novelty song essentially. But
I think that's what I like. I think I like novelty songs and like just goofy little.
I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas.
Yeah, I do actually like that. I do like that.
And you love Santa Baby.
Santa Baby, one of my favorites. No, I don't like Santa Baby. But I do like I'm Getting Nothing for Christmas.
Yeah.
I do like that one.
What about All I Want for Christmas Is My Two Front Teeth? What about...
I think I do like
You know what one that I like that's a really kind of... I could see if people hated it and wanted to tear their ears off.
Which one?
But I actually do like the Chipmunks Christmas song.
I like that one. I like that one. Yeah, I can get behind that.
I don't think I've heard it yet this year. But it's so... I think it was the first... It was the first Chipmunks thing ever made, and it was just a song. It wasn't like part of a cartoon or anything. It was a novelty song because they sped up the voice and it became the Chipmunk voice.
You know about John Waters, right?
About John Waters?
About specifically the Chipmunks and specific cartoons he had made for him. John Waters.
Well, I thought is that real or is that?
I don't know if it's urban legend or not.
Yeah, that sounds like
seems like it could be real.
Marilyn Manson took out his ribs type of thing,
Seems like it could be real for him.
Anyway, I like that one because it was just so silly. It's
good.
Now, if I had to hear it 4 times a day, I would probably be angry, but I have a good time with that one.
It is fun. I like that. That's I do. I love those like goofy, stupid songs like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, this last one I have is a cover, and it's one of those covers though where it's completely reimagined, and like you might even mistake it for a different song. But there's a song it's called Christmas, and then in parentheses, "Baby, Please Come Home." Do parentheses annoy you in songs? They annoy me because I'm like,
no.
what part am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to say it? Do I say this part? Anyway,
baby, please come home. You say it like that, baby.
Please come.
Please come.
Which is it's definitely a song you would know.
Yeah, of course.
Darlene Love did the original, and then U2 did a pretty famous version that you hear a lot out in the wild. Does it play in Gremlins?
I think
when
it does.
I hear it, I think of Gremlins.
I think it does play in Gremlins.
Like everything covered in snow, and
yeah, I think it does.
So there's a version from 2008 by the band The Ravenettes, who are a really, really cool band. They had a little EP called "Wishing You a Rave Christmas," and it's real synthy. Like it's I don't know. It's like has a I guess synth pop is maybe you'd want to call it that, but it uses the synth in a very particular way that I don't know. It sounds like a completely different song. And that's a really great cover when you completely make it your own. You do something super unique and different with it, which is why all the Last Christmas covers are such a bummer, because it's just the same thing over and over again. You did nothing to it, nothing. But this one really, really makes it its own song. And it's a song that I don't particularly love. I think it's fine. But they do something really interesting with it. And it's one that I just... I think I would even listen to this one off-season, just because I like the way that the synth sounds in it. It's really cool. And they're a really cool band. Worth checking out. So, anyway.
It's a great pick.
I guess that's it.
The boys did it again. Bringing the Christmas cheer back to the neighborhood.
I don't have any candy canes.
No candy canes, but that's okay. We don't need that. We're not commercial like that, okay? We can have a good time without buying consumer products. You guys don't like the hee-hawing?
We need to clip that separately. That'll be like the teaser for it.